Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Siseon by developer and industrial artist Alice Effect. This is a first-person exploratory journey through a sci-fi facility that seems to have been taken over by some sort of expanding organic matter. Very mysterious, very creepy actually, and let's just get right into things. I don't want to be labored. There's not really a main title screen or anything. You just start the game literally in this room already. This is a Unity game, as people like to know in general. I usually like to comment on that when it is the case. There doesn't appear to be any sound or music, which I was a little bit disappointed in, considering Alice Effect is, also a musician, so I figured there would be something in there. I'm not sure, maybe it could be a bug, maybe it's not anyone's fault here, but from what I can tell, there doesn't seem to be anything going on, and I checked a number of times. So our character has one special ability, and that's if you left-click, you can actually form these expanding red spheres, which sort of look like blood clot balls, which you can then jump off of. So that is the main convention here, and how we will be traversing the more strange or obscure sections of platforming, and there will be a little bit of that as we get into things. So I do want to note, of course, really, really cool atmosphere going on here. Everything's got this sort of a dusty, gray, dead, kind of rotting, sort of surreal, spacey ambience to it, and then of course there's these bright reds on these crystalline structures which seem to have some sort of like a beehive texture on them, and then of course these giant hunks of fleshy matter that seem to be growing out of stuff, and I'm not sure exactly what the reason for that is, but that is partially why we're here to figure it out, I suppose. There is also this very lovely little red particulate matter going on in the air there, so that's another thing that adds a little bit, and then some sort of more technical looking, they almost seem like holograms floating just slightly off the wall, and then these seem to be producing blue sparks or particulate matter. I'm not sure what's going on there. So in the couple of minutes that I spent getting accustomed to what's going on in this game, I already found that there is a way to break it. You can actually follow these, I don't know what you want to call them, they're like veins essentially, on into the world ad infinitum. I should probably just show you because this might end up being a short-ish episode. I'm not sure actually how long this game is. I hope it's long enough that we can get a good feel for it. There is also probably the element that you could take to this where there's maybe some speedrunning that could be done here, considering the controls are actually very twitchy feeling, which is not something I expected. Usually a game like this tends to be a bit slower paced and more plodding in its tempo. So you'll notice we're just walking on this, I don't know, again, what you want to call this fleshy cord. I thought I fell off. Apparently I landed on that one. This is just going to go on forever, and if I fall off one of these, I'm going to fall forever until I hit the reset button, which hopefully I can find. Oh, wait. Maybe I'm finding a new way up? I don't think I found this way last time. Oh, well, I fell off. Now, if I'm fast enough, maybe I can zoom back over here and do a little bit of skydiving action. No, it doesn't look like it. Shoot some blood balls off into the distance and watch everything fade away. No, alright, so we're going to press R to reset. Thankfully, we were not very far away from the beginning. And there's also a very strange sense of momentum. If you haven't noticed, I can jump very, very high into the air, which is also giving me the feeling that we're in space. Perhaps intentional, I'm not sure. Most likely intentional. So there we go. Jumped up that little platform. We can actually get up there, but I think this actually loops around later if I do go up here. It's back to the same place that I was a moment ago. Your field of view, as far as controlling your character's head, seems to only go, I don't know quite what this viewpoint is, like 70 degrees up and down. You can't look all the way down, you can't look all the way up, and that's probably for a reason, considering the way you traverse some of these stranger platform mechanics is by looking down and building these blocks, essentially, under you. So if you could look straight down, you end up with one of those sort of Minecraftian scenarios where you're just building platforms under you forever. Which takes any semblance of challenge away, if that is a goal. I'm not sure if it is. So I've already gotten myself pretty lost here. I'm not sure if this is actually the way I'm supposed to go, or maybe there are multiple ways to go, and if that's the case, that's perfectly fine, but this one actually looped me back around to the beginning. So I guess we will not go that way again. The blood ball things do not stay forever. As you've noticed, they actually, I shot one before, and they actually disappear eventually into a cloud of mist. I could shoot a bunch of them on the wall here. They all start to grow and grow and grow, and eventually they just sort of pop. So another level of mystery to what's going on here. Also, the reticle, or crosshair, whatever you want to call it, is actually a three-dimensional plus, which is kind of interesting, and not a shape you usually see very often. So how am I supposed to traverse this? I guess I'll just take a jump at this wall and hope I can make it. Well, I didn't quite make it. If I could get one of these... it didn't go under me in time. Alright, so now I'm all the way down here. I guess I could just work my way back up. Although, I'm only colliding with these at the times when it is least important. Let's try in this corner here. There we go. Right, a little bit of progress up, and we just got to keep going up further. The first time when I was doing this, I was racing through the area. A little disappointed I can't seem to do that this time. Now, what's going on here? I actually can't seem to get any higher than that because there's an invisible wall blocking my path. Alright, I guess that is not the way to go. Although it looked like it was totally clear. So we'll just keep locking in progress, making our way up this wall. I'm sure we'll make it back up eventually. And who knows what sort of horrors are going to be in our way coming forward. Probably nothing too horrible. I don't imagine there's going to be combat in this game. I have a feeling this is just sort of an abstract, surreal exploration game. So let's see if we can make this jump this time, get a good run up. And, oh, we made it. Just barely, though. Alright, so this hologram in the air is telling us X this way. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm going to follow instructions. Pretty sure this led to the next area last time. Although that's about as far as I made it. Yeah, this looks different to me. Alright, that seems like a death. More fleshy, weird masses with spider webs coming off of them. Some sort of a hologram that says 9. And a brick wall texture and a bunch of floating abstract fragments of something hanging in the air. As we get our way down, we'll notice it is actually sort of a whirlwind of whatever these bits are. Flying in a circle is a very interesting visual presentation. I really like it. So what's going on over here? Wow, we've got a whole bunch of broken crystalline red structures and more of that latticed honeycomb stuff going on, as well as some what looks like more intentional platforming to be done in this direction. Whoa, oh no, I've fallen off. Oh, I didn't grab an edge. I'm pretty much the worst. I'm sorry, guys. Well, back we go. Alright, let's see if we can speedrun through this time. Pretty confident we can. He says, as the platforms stop responding to his movements. That's a little frustrating. I'd never quite understand when developers expect you to jump off of spherical objects. It seems sort of counter to most of the things we've learned to do in games. Like, in general, if you want to hit onto an edge of something, you generally want it to be square, because we've all learned instinctually that squares have the best collision boxes. They're usually the most accurate. Spheres just seem to have a lot of issues with them, which sort of puzzles me a little bit as to why your main platforming ability is sort of based around spheres. Although I suppose it does sort of reference the whole organic material thing, which seems to be the recurring theme that we're going for here. So let's jump up this wall and not mess around with that ledge, because I really don't want to fall off again. Oh, there we go. Whoa, I've fallen. Alright, I thought I made it up. It's reminding me a little bit of the ambience towards the end of Metroid Prime, actually. I'm not sure if you guys are getting the same feeling as I am. But if this had some, like, radioactive clicking sounds and some sort of strange chiptune arpeggios going on, I imagine this could be, well, perhaps a little bit more lighthearted than it actually intended until I thought about that. I would think probably deeper drones, creepy sounds. This is probably more the realm that we're trying to evoke here. You will notice, of course, there is some sort of an HUD going over as an overlay on the screen, which is perhaps why I got that Metroid Prime vibe without even really thinking about it intentionally. So there's some triangles telling us maybe we want to go up here. How I'm supposed to traverse this junk, I am not sure, considering there doesn't appear to be anything to stand on. Maybe I just need to use momentum there to launch myself up. Actually, I'm pretty sure that is exactly what I'm supposed to do. Alright, so maybe there is a slight, like, racing game element to this where we need to use physics and momentum. And if I jump at exactly the right time, maybe I will find my way up to that platform. Seems like it's possible. I just gotta nail that jump. There we go. That's more what we're looking for. Alright, so don't walk haphazardly off this ledge, that arrow tells me. Do, though, walk off that ledge. The other thing this level design is evocative of a little bit for me is Quake 3. I'd always kind of wondered what's up with the level design in Quake 3. There's all these random, like, tendrils and fleshy bits hanging off of things and walls that were undulating. Like, I didn't really understand if there was supposed to be some backstory to Quake. Maybe there is. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So I can use my platforms here. Backstory to Quake 3, I should say, not just Quake in general. I know each game has had its own sort of mythos to it, although Quake 2 and 4 actually are tied together. So I guess I need to use these like proximity mines in GoldenEye 007 to now traverse these very strange chords. Oh, or maybe I could just jump over to here. This seems like... Oh no, I've fallen and I can't get up. Alright, let's try this again. I can see this getting pretty frustrating pretty quickly if you botch these jumps a bunch of times in a row, and given the sort of finicky nature of how these platforms respond to interaction, I think that could probably happen pretty fast. Alright, so here's a better idea. Let's make a little ledge here. In case I fudge this jump, I'm going to land on, hopefully, my own platforms before I fall. Alright, good. And this one, I don't even know where I'm supposed to be jumping to. I see the pluses hanging in the air. Oh, I can actually latch onto those. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, I guess we don't have a problem after all. And we want to make a right-hand turn here. This is definitely getting very strange. It's also reminding me of some of the desolation and isolation of Lost Izalith in Dark Souls. Definitely one of the creepiest or strangest areas in Dark Souls, I have to say. Maybe creepiest isn't the right word, but definitely the most mysterious, at least in my opinion anyway. You know, what are all these dragon butts doing here? Why is there lava everywhere? What's going on? And then you find these crazy dudes with, like, eyeballs all over them. You don't know what it is. And they just want to, like, eat you with their giant open mouth on their head. I don't know. I could imagine this would be a very good area for some Dead Space monsters to show up as well if they wanted to make a cameo. So I guess we'll just go up this wall. This is very freeform. I have no idea where I'm going in a formal sense. There isn't really... I mean, there is some direction, but it's not so overt all the time. Alright, what is this? Blue light. Blue light seems like a good thing to have. I guess it does, although it's not really helping me in this particular instance. Maybe we can make our way over some of these meatballs toward... Oh, this looks like an area that there's something going on in. Whoa, I almost fell off that. I guess we want to make our way back left here and maybe jump up to this. I seem to be able to just walk right through those light fixtures. I'm not sure why. And that was a really good example of why circles are always dangerous to do platforming off of, because that time it felt like I was about to lose my feet from under me if I jumped at the wrong moment. Which is a hard thing to describe in general, but if you've played enough games, you'll know what I mean. Where you go to jump and the ground underneath you just isn't there. It's a very disconcerting feeling. Have I reached the end of the world? What am I doing here? What are we doing, Siseon? Is this the end of the world? It looks like I might be heading for broken territory, because you know how I like to exploit things I'm not supposed to stand in. There seems to be some glitched out texture work going on here. I can't tell if maybe this is the end of the road. Oh, maybe it is actually, because there's a title on the wall. Regardless, I wasn't necessarily expecting this to end with any sort of finality or conclusion, so I guess, you know, can't really be disappointed in that respect. I just wanted to see what this had to offer. I just really, really like the atmosphere of it. The art style to it seems very cool to me, and is absolutely something that I would like to see. Whoa! Okay, I found the top. I would love to see this developed into something with a little bit more meat to it. Pardon the strange accidental pun there. There's plenty of meat in Siseon, but I'm talking about gameplay substance. Although, that doesn't have to be misconstrued as to mean that substance equates to some form of formal gameplay. This is actually quite acceptable. Well, not that it should need to be acceptable. Preferential for me, I should say. It's a style of gameplay that I can get behind, having no overt goals other than to just see what you see. Although sometimes it's nice to cap it off. You know, you can, if you want. I'm not really sure if there's supposed to be any sort of a narrative being told here. If there is, I guess what I'm getting at is I'm curious about the narrative, and I'd like for there to be one told, but it's not required by any means. Games can be whatever they want. And that is one of the messages that I feel like I have to harp on all the time, especially after we've gotten in these debates about, like, is Proteus a game? Is it art? Is it interactive media? Digital? I don't know what you want to call it. I'll be happy calling it a game. I don't really care. We can argue about it if we want. And in a lot of ways, I'm sure we could make plenty of arguments that this is not a game. Again, not really worried about it. It's a fun experience. In the end, really everything we do in these video games that we've titled them are really just interactive experiences, and to some extent, even ones that aren't interactive we still call games. Look at Metal Gear Solid 4. Not that the game as a whole isn't interactive, but it has lots of cutscenes, and they are many, many minutes long. So, although I guess since it's framed in a game narrative, we can excuse that at times. This isn't totally interactive, just doesn't really seem to have any, overt narrative anyway. I don't mean to get us off on this far of a tangent, but anyway, I just thought this was something worth mentioning, something worth showing off, and a game that I would love to see a little bit more development on. And I guess what I'm trying to say is whenever I say game, I guess I need to qualify that as, I mean game/interactive experience/digital media. So I just don't want to say that every time, and hopefully you understand that that's a little silly. So we'll just jump back to the main area. I'd love to know what's up with these holograms, too. I mean, those make me very curious for whatever reason. They remind me of Wipeout. I feel like if I run past them fast enough, I'll get a boost or something. So we could do a little speed run game if you guys want to, make your own video response to this, see how fast you can get from this entry zone all the way to the point where I ended the video, or at least ended the exploration element of the video. I imagine there could be some interesting jumping mechanics that you might have to do to maybe skip through some of these areas. If you could understand the level design, which I don't quite yet, it's actually pretty strange and different to me. There's not a lot of it that really makes sense. Also, these honeycombs, you can't step in them, just so you know. If you try to jump in there, you just fall through. But yeah, try making a video or make a comment. Let me know what you think about this. It's definitely a different experience, something very unique. And I would love to see more and more games or interactive experiences and media of this caliber or this level of intrigue for me. So if you know of any, let me know. I'm always curious. And in general, just always do let me know about games you think would be great qualifiers for this show. I'm always taking new suggestions, and there are plenty. See, I just hate that. I keep falling right through that. Anyway, this has gone on long enough. I think we've got all there is to see of Siseon. So, as always, remember to head on over to my website, which is indie-impressions.com, so you can check out all the old episodes in the series. There are over 400 of them and going strong. Every day is a new one. Feel free to check out our forums over there. We've also got a Facebook page, facebook.com/indieimpressions. If you want to leave a like over there, it just takes a second. Helps me out a little bit, and you'll get every day's new video delivered into your Facebook stream. If you do want to help me out, though, the best thing you could possibly do is let a friend know about this series. I'm still primarily spreading by word of mouth, so if you know someone who's into indie games or into interactive art and media, just generally different things that you're not going to see pretty much anywhere else. I don't know a lot of places that are covering games like this on a regular basis. Then please do let someone know about it. It actually means a ton to me if you would. Aside from that, though, I've also got a Twitter handle, which is @RockLeeSmile. You can feel free to send me tweets, suggestions, if you just want to chat about stuff. I'm always happy to talk to just about anybody about just about anything. I also do have a contact form on Indie-Impressions if you want to send me an email about the possibility of showing off your game on the channel. That is one way to get in contact with me about it. And that is going to pretty much do it, guys. If you missed anything, be sure to head on over to the description of this video. I will have the download link for this, as well as all my social media links. I know I do tend to talk pretty quickly when I go through that stuff, so don't feel like you missed anything. It's all there. And that is going to do it, guys. Make sure you come back again tomorrow for another episode. I do a new one every single day, and I will see you then. Have a lovely night.